to Knoxville, don't be late. Baker's Live, it's gonna be great. June 5th and 6th, mark your date at Dollywood, we'll celebrate. Meet Baker and more cool friends, live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. Rides, fun, and meet and greet. Baker and pals, the crew's so sweet. Get ready for laughs, cheers, and thrills. Knoxville's the place, it's giving chills. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. June 5th and 6th, don't miss the fun. Meet Baker and friends, it's second to none. Baker and friends, it's second to
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And it looks like we have a new viewer called Expert. I don't know. Am I saying it correct? Texpert. He says, "Hey Baker, someone told me you had a cool chat. I hope so. I'm looking forward to find a nice quiet place to call home." Well, sadly, we have Zach on this channel, so it can be a little up, a little down. But Chexpert, maybe is how you pronounce it. You are always welcome. We also have good people here. It's not Zach all of it. It's not Zach all the time. It's also Jamie. She's mean. But you're welcome. And if you heard my intro music and heard something about Dollywood, you can meet the expert as well as other cool people. At some point, he'll probably figure out to tell us who will come so we can promote it even more and say you can meet your favorite creator and then the stupid Dane. So at some point, maybe the day before the meetup, he will finally get around to do that. I'm hoping your mom is feeling well. Zach got banned from a chat yesterday. Zach gets banned from chat every day. That's kind of his thing. I'm not having a stroke. I was making a joke. And as someone mentioned, there is a new motion filed from Alessi about Dr. Crosby saying, well, it's all fine and dandy that the court claims that he satisfies the Dorbert-Lanigan requirement, but they never showed how. The court never mentions how he satisfies it, so we want you to reconsider. Good thing. I hope she's better. I hope you get to spend some more time in your house with your mom, and you can come back online and play with all your stupid friends. Because I bet you people are missing their late nights with the expert. Well, you've been in Discord a lot, but still, people want to hang out with you because you're the guy with the sunglasses. But that was the Karen Reed coverage. That was the experts coverage. The case we're looking at today is day 2 in the snowplow pew-pewing, where a guy either got into an argument, started unloading into his neighbor, or the neighbor were pressing his nose into his cheek, and he had to defend himself because he said he would unalive him, his kids, his wife, and someone else. Yesterday we had the opening statements. The state's opening statements were kind of like he was an angry guy who shouldn't have done it. The defense statements were the other guy was an angry guy who deserved it. We had the daughter on the stand. I felt it was a little untactful from the state to show it twice. I know blood sells even in a courtroom, but having an 18-year-old girl cry on the stand, it looks good for a jury, but you can also be an a-hole. The defense at least stopped it before we came to that. Her story of what happened, I had a little bit of trouble figuring out. Was she upstairs and then came downstairs after, around when it happened, or were they standing in there looking at it? I don't know. And thank you to FD Food Fairy for Twin Anchors t-shirt. I'm told it's a club at a restaurant, not sponsored by it, I have to say, for YouTube's sake, but I wear the shirt. Even that free shirts are nice to have. See what I said? I see what I said. Well, I'll call myself backup Brandy every day because Brandy is. I think she is the best document queen we have in the entire YouTuber sphere. She's very meticulous. I'm more of a I do the highlights kind of thing, and she's the I do all the details. So it's always wonderful to have Brandy, and I'll be a backup Brandy because Brandy is working hard on her new project, and I can't wait to find out what it's all about. It's gonna be great. I am sure of it because she has skills that I don't have. Hey, JVH. The defense attorney felt more like a unalive Tony. I don't know what that is. Your dog have gas. It's supposed to be in your car. Hey, Connie Marie, how are you doing? I haven't gotten a I Heart Canton t-shirt yet, but if you want to send it, I can provide an address. Hey, Hellracing, and Katie P, and Kim, how are you doing? Yes, I was Irishing it up today. Hey, Paula B, Jackie Seidel. Isn't it Seidel High in Greece? Am I getting that totally wrong? I don't know, but Greece is the word. Daddy T, Helen from Holland. And Texas Brain and Skybell. All you wonderful people. Rydell. Well, most of it was correct, except the most important part, the first. But it sounded like Seidel. Hey, Sui. And Chantel, how are you doing this fine morning? Hey, Vince. Zach gets banned everywhere. Hey, Teresa. Zach is what you call a troublemaker. Hey, Show Life. And any plans to cover another trial with Mo in the deep end? I don't have any plans against doing it, but Mo have had a little bit of troubles with her legs, and I think she have trying to focus on finding a rhythm that fits into her style. She's been doing these restreams when it fits into her schedule. I don't know. I make this look like you don't need either talent or skill to do what I do. Well, do what I do. You don't need it because I do it, but it does take a lot of time to sit here. So I haven't been talking to Mo about any other trials because I don't want to force her to sit in a chair for 8 hours a day. I would love to have her back on and do it because Mo is one of these natural funny people who doesn't have to think about it. So she's wonderful to stream with. Hopefully we can see each other on Saturday because Stabby Days has become a little unstable. Unstable day is what we should call it from now on. But I'm hoping I can get the band back together on Saturday and do our Saturday show. But I would love to find a case that Mo and I can cover. But the big problem is always scheduling. But I would love her to have her come back and do some stuff with us. You'll allow it. Thank you. Hey, Tash. How come you have a wrench over at Tom's? I'm so you were confused. It's because I think I was one of the first streamers that Tom ever streamed with, and it's easier if you look at our chats because everyone who has a wrench is blue, and the rest of you are green, or everyone else is green. If I look in my YouTube chat, if you're a member, you're green. If you're not, you're gray. But everyone who is a mod is blue. So if you see the blue pop up, well, not on my channel because I don't listen to my mods, but normal you'll see, oh, that's someone, I have to see if it's something I need to pull up because it might be another creator. So a lot of creators have that where they'll mod people to make it easier to see. Someone is having a good day. Who doesn't want a second chat? Zach is only here because as a foreign streamer, you need to have... It's a rule because YouTube is American that they have to follow the ADA rule. And the ADA rule says you have to have a special needs person in chat. I was given Zach. I have since tried and said, come on, guys. Can we rework this? And they said, no. Mo is the funniest. And as I said, she should have a stand-up special because she's just naturally funny. It's not... I hate a lot of these comedians, especially YouTube comedians, where it's so scripted. It's not natural. I think jokes are best if they just come kind of like, I know a lot of people hate it when I start singing and just make up the lyrics or I do my whiteboarding. But it's just a spur of the moment thing. And Mo is really funny. And it's not... I used to watch another panel show, and on that, they have a comedian on, and you could feel when they were on script, they were okay funny, but when they had to sit and chat with the rest of them, it just felt like pulling teeth, and that's one of those things. Because if you're bringing someone on who has a reputation, who is who is known to be a funny person, and they just sit in chat, and you can feel like they're just waiting to make a PP or the JJ joke. That's not that funny. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should put some audio on.
Let's proceed.
The trial starts now.
Please rise. We're speaking of the jury panel.
Someone has a lot of situation. Oh my god. That's horrible. It also helps them mod other creators when people, not that anyone would ever do this, copy screen names. Oh.
Ladies, be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know why you're saying Brandon copies screen names. I've never seen him use any other name than Brandon. None at all.
Hope you all had a nice evening. I want to start by thanking you all. My people tell me everybody was here right on time. We're greatly appreciate that. So thank you very much. And now we're ready to proceed.
My jokes usually involve college girls and Cosbys. And pudding pops. Thank you, Brandon. I think you could feel your ears burning because OLR was talking about you. But no, Brandon is... this is the only account I know Brandon use. And I hope everything worked out with the doctor yesterday, and your blood work is like 1995-96 Pamela Anderson. Just fine.
Attorney Barr, you ready to call the state's next witness?
I am. Angela Violette.
Very good.
No. Yes. Well, I had a few yesterday. I had a one-eared sad elephant, and I had the nose to the chin back. And today we are starting with the wife.
Good morning, ma'am. You raise your right hand. You swear to
Yeah, MLS.
truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pain and penalty of perjury.
I do.
You can be seated right there. Please just be a favor to scoot up to the microphone.
Sure.
And try to keep your voice up.
Okay.
Everybody can hear.
Hi. I made my first mistake of the day and calling you as Angela Violette. Could you state and spell your name for the court record, please?
Angela LaChance, first name Angela, the last name is Lachance.
I want to ask you some questions about your relationships, and I understand that your last name is not Violet, this is LaChance, but who do you consider yourself with?
Kyle Violet,
How long have you guys been together?
22 years.
And do you have a family together?
We do, 2 children.
Can you give me just their ages?
My son is 15, my daughter is 18.
And I don't think we need to get in too much to your son. My understanding, he did not witness directly events here, but we met your daughter yesterday.
Yes,
What's her name?
Kendra Violet.
Oh,
And where do you guys live?
before.
43 Summer Street, Rochester.
Who do you live there with?
Kyle Violet and our 2 children.
We had heard yesterday.
Either there's too much sound or no sound. Did someone trip over the wine? I didn't take the audio away. Hello. Anyone lip reads who can come on?
And she turned 18.
How's that working out for you guys? Too much time together? Or?
No, it's great. Actually, no, it really is great. She's a great kid. I love working with her.
Look, Angela, may I call you Angela, or would you prefer Miss LaChance?
No, Angela's fine.
Thank you. You know why we're here, why you're here today, and I want to now focus on April 4th of last year. Can you just begin and introduce us to what was going on earlier in the night for you and your family?
Sorry. We were all off, well, myself and Kendra were off of work that night, so we were just kind of having a family night. We had made dinner. We had all retired up to our bedrooms. It was about, 10 o'clock or so. Myself and Kyle were in.
Oh, you know the defendant? Yeah, that must be really weird. I have sometimes people come into my chat and they know a victim, or yeah, I had Ty Treehouse in my chat as well, in my comments as well. But it must be really weird. I've never had anyone I went to school with when I'm doing the layman duty, but I watched surveillance camera where one who went to school with my sister comes out of a house that they were surveilling. So that was a little weird.
Our room, Kendra was in her room, my son was in his room playing video games.
Tell us a little bit, I think we know, but what was going on outside?
It was snowing.
All right. And not just snowing, right? This was a pretty big storm.
It was a pretty big, yeah, the biggest storm of the year, I'm pretty sure.
What was your plan, and not to get too far in the weeds of this, but what was your plan for clearing the snow from your driveway?
My daughter's friend, her father plows, and he was supposed to come plow our driveway. We were going back and forth between text messages for quite some time, and he didn't show up when he said he was going to show up. And quite a few hours had gone by, so I really didn't think that he was going to show up. So our plan essentially was going to be to have to go out and shovel by hand.
All right. Plan B, shovels by hand.
Yep.
Create some degree of anxiety, concern among everybody?
Yeah, of course. It was a lot of snow.
And did you need to use cars in the morning?
Yes. Yep.
Who lived next door to you, I guess, as you are facing the house to your right?
Jason Levesque and his parents.
And you said that there was kind of a plan A for your plowing and a plan B by hand. Look, had there been any concerns about the volume of snow out front?
Well, yeah, the snow piles up from the plow going through the street, and then it got built up even more by Mr. Levesque.
And so, had that been an issue prior to this night?
Yes.
In what way? How can you describe how you've seen the process work before?
He would plow his snow from the front of his driveway past our telephone pole, build up a pile in front of the street, and then push it in front of our driveway.
Okay. And you say there would be a pile near or just beyond the
telephone pole. Yeah.
And was that a first step? And then what followed? And then what was the second step?
He would, because obviously he can't leave it in the street, he would ultimately push it at the end of our driveway.
Okay. And did that include the snow that was then backpulled out of his driveway?
Yes.
And had that been a tension point prior to the 4th?
It had happened at least one time before.
Okay. You were just talking about a family night moving towards, sounds like, closer to bedtime, with people dispersed in your home, doing their own thing.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
When we realized that Kendra's friend's father was probably not going to show up and we were going to have to plow by hand, Kyle noticed that Mr. Levesque was plowing his snow to the end of our driveway, which essentially would have made it more difficult for us to plow by hand. So he went out to ask him not to do that.
Can I ask you to provide kind of a sequence of events where you went to?
Yeah, so after he grabbed his hoodie, he went to walk out. I went into Kendra's room. I said, your dad just went out to go talk to the neighbor. Me and Kendra walked downstairs into the living room. We were kind of just walking around the living room. And then we went to the bay window next to the screen porch where the video camera is.
Understood.
And we were looking outside.
So this may be obvious. We were out there yesterday, I think
Yeah.
you know, and you're describing there were two bay windows facing your house from your driveway. Are you
Yeah.
talking about the one to the left or to the right?
If you're facing my screen porch,
Yep.
it's to the left.
If you're facing the screen
If you're
porch,
facing my house.
then it's the first one to the
Yes,
left. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I know they were talking about an uncle or someone's coming by to drive it, but plow it. But yeah, they could just say, "Hey, buddy, instead of leaving it there, can you plow our driveway as well?" That could be great of you. Thank you so much. That's one of those things you think, how small a thing do you want to make trouble over?
And you said you were both looking outside from there, and there was a surveillance camera from a similar angle. Is that fair?
Yeah, so the surveillance camera comes from the top left-hand side of the window, and myself and Kendra were just, in the, looking from the middle, Kendra was on the right.
After the events occurred outside,
Yeah.
did you have contact with law enforcement, any police officers?
Yes,
Did you agree to provide the surveillance footage from that camera to law enforcement?
yes, I gave it to them that night. I provided Kyle's phone because our cameras are on an app that was on his phone. We couldn't get onto the app on his phone, so I emailed it to them, I airdropped it to them, I provided multiple different ways of them having that video.
And that night, did they come inside at some point after this event and actually view
Yes.
your phone?
Yes,
Are you aware whether or not they actually then took a screen video of your screen video as well for
Yes.
short term?
yep,
Okay. Look, I don't want to gratuitously do this, unnecessarily do this, but we watched that video yesterday.
Yeah.
And I want to play an abbreviated version. I don't think we need to go through the whole thing.
Sure.
Certainly defer to the defense, but I want to show you a portion of that because I have some follow-up questions for you.
okay.
Okay? Bear with me just a second, Your Honor. May we set up? We managed to upgrade. Okay, we moved it.
Hey, Brandon, you just missed MLS was in here.
And Your Honor, for the record, this is State's Exhibit 2 as a full exhibit.
Thank you.
Judges,
Let's hope we can see more. Is Kyle okay now? No. Kyle lost one testicle and had multiple severe injuries. He has multiple fragments still lodged in his body because it's too dangerous to operate him. When they had a bail hearing in, I believe, June or July, he was in a wheelchair.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, may the witness leave the stand and approach the well. His voice seems to carry fairly well, but I'm just going to...
Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about yesterday. Why would you go up and say, "Hey, your dad's going to the neighbor's house to complain about snow plowing"? Maybe that's how they do in this family, but yeah, it struck me a little bit. We didn't make a family thing out of it when I moved snow. Well, I can read your Swayshire. You have 23% Swayshire, Brandon.
bring this down and... Angela, do you recognize this image?
Yes, that's the image from the surveillance camera in my bay window.
Thank you. Counsel, can we play and spare? I don't know that everybody needs to see the plowing again, but perhaps when Mr. Violette leaves the residence.
I called him Einstein yesterday.
And can you identify this person?
That's Kyle.
You had described him putting on a hoodie. Did you see him do that?
Yes.
If I could stop there. Are you able to see Mr. Levesque's truck door open in the left corner adjacent to the house?
Yes.
Okay. And you had just said, there he goes.
Yep.
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to Jason getting off his truck.
All right. And can I have you continue? Can I pause it here? You just said, I hope he doesn't do anything stupid.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Mr. Levesque.
And are you able to hear from your, I guess, vantage point, the conversation or words exchanged, if any, between Levesque and...
No, we were not able to hear anything.
Okay. Could we continue to play? Please stop. Can you tell who it is that backs away or separates from the truck?
In which part?
This part here, the individual on the right.
I can't see the truck. I can't see any people up there. I could see him run out of the house and run over. I think this is, I thought it was a road yesterday, but it's something in front of the camera because he disappeared under it, but I can't see anything over here. Well, I'm pointing without pointing. Maybe they can see it better in court. We're having a better angle today than yesterday, but I see nothing.
To your knowledge is...
That's Kyle.
Okay.
That I can see right there by the pole.
All right. Please.
No, he just stopped. He hasn't gotten out of jail. Hey! He just got him! He just got him! Hey!
Can actually see something right here that falls on the ground. Again, I'm not pointing. Right here that's falling on the ground. Really annoying that they have the clock here, but I'm going to go back and pay attention to this area. I know it's really, really small, but again, it's not about, but you can see it in the still shots. A shadow comes forward there. There's something, again, you can't see it when I have this tool open. Come on. You can see a shadow here, and then it disappears back again, and something falls down here. Let's try it again.
Please.
No, he just stopped. He hasn't gotten out of jail. Hey! He just got him! He just got him! Hey!
Can you rewind just back to approximately the point where she indicates he has a gun? Pause, please. You yelled at about this point that he has a gun.
That was Kendra.
Kendra,
Yeah.
were you able to see a firearm?
So when Kendra noticed the gun, I was walking towards the window, but I was looking down when she yelled, "He has a gun." I looked up and I witnessed the first shot to the face.
Could you tell that he had a firearm in his hand?
Yes.
And was there anything about the lighting or the distance that prohibited you from seeing what he had in his hand?
Nothing at all. I had a very clear view.
Were you able to see whether Kyle had anything in his hand or brandished anything in his hand during your period of observation?
No, Kyle never brandished anything or had anything in his hand.
And can you roll this?
No, he just stopped. He hasn't gotten out of jail. Hey! He just got him!
Can you pause it? What direction was Kyle proceeding in when the first shot was fired?
Kyle was starting to walk home.
And the next 5 shots, were you able to tell what direction he was proceeding when they were fired?
Kyle was already on the ground from the first shot.
And his movements, in what direction did he go?
He was trying to army crawl home.
Can you just proceed? Who is this?
That's Kendra.
And who is this?
That's me.
I think that's good. Ma'am, could you resume the witness stand, please?
Yeah, that's what I get too. Well, we'll find out because Kyle will be subject to cross-examination. He still lives.
Sorry, Mayor. Can I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
We just left off where you went outside. Can you describe how Kyle appeared to you when you reached him?
When I went outside, he was curled up in a ball by the telephone pole, bleeding profusely. I called 911 immediately.
What's your estimate of how long it took for law enforcement to respond?
Only a couple of minutes, it was very fast.
And from there, can you just briefly describe to us the sequence of events as you experienced it?
Yeah, one of the officers started rendering aid while the other officers took Mr. Levick into custody.
And when you say rendering aid, did they render aid at the scene, at that location?
Yeah, I believe one of the officers ripped his shirt off. They had to turn him over onto his side because he was choking on the blood from the first shot to the face.
Were you there for that?
Yes.
And can you just confirm for us that Kyle was taken from the scene by ambulance to a local hospital?
Yeah, first he was taken by ambulance to Frisbee. I met him there.
And can you just describe for us the sequence of events and what happens next in terms of...
I couldn't get my car out of the driveway, so I had to call one of my coworkers who came and picked me up, and she brought me to Frisbee. They immediately let me back into the room where Kyle was. They had taken off most of his clothing. They had to cut it off. He was not conscious. He was still alive, but he was not conscious. They told me that he had lost a good portion of his blood and that they were...
I just have to object to your saying.
But I understand the objection, Your Honor. I'll rephrase and focus. When I'm asking about the experience, it's not necessary and...
Before I go is another member in the chat. So that's why Sue says before I go.
Other witnesses would have to provide the actual assessment. And so I'd ask you not to convey through hearsay what the doctors told you.
Oh, sure.
I just want to get a sequence of your experience. Where did you go? How long were you at Frisbee?
He was not I couldn't tell you exactly how long we were there. It was not very long. He was transported to Portsmouth shortly after.
What did you do from there?
I went to Portsmouth. I had my coworker drive me to Portsmouth.
And were you able to see Kyle at Portsmouth?
I was not able to see Kyle at Portsmouth because he was in emergency surgery.
And how long, did your estimate, and again, I don't need to hold you to an exact, but how long do you think you were at Portsmouth?
Maybe a couple of hours.
And what happened next?
They took him to Boston Medical Center.
Do you know how he got down there?
Yeah, by ambulance.
And what did you do?
I went home to check on my children because they had stayed home. And then I went to Boston.
And how often were you able to see Kyle in Boston?
I stayed with Kyle in Boston from the day he got there until the day he went home.
Approximately
He is still alive.
how long was he admitted to the Boston facility?
April 5th to May 1st.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to approach. This is going to be Court permission, I'd like like to approach, show this witness what's been marked as State's Exhibit 19 as a full exhibit. Counsel is 260 severed.
Just double check. We have no problem.
And then you can do that.
And that's okay.
Thank you. Very good, thank you.
And let me show you a photograph from that time.
Yeah, it's really weird when they're still alive. I haven't heard anything about civil suits.
That's Kyle.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of how you appear?
Yes.
Your Honor, can I ask the court to indulge me and remind the jurors that they'll have full access to any exhibits that are
Yes, I'm about to do that. So while you take time looking at it now, I'm going to have an opportunity, make full video opportunity later in the jury room. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Angela, you said he was, released from the hospital. What was his, for instance, his last medical appointment related to these events?
The last medical appointment we just had was in the beginning of March, and he just went for a CAT scan it was Tuesday, I think, Monday or Tuesday? Monday.
Remember where Kyle was working before these events?
Yeah, he was working at Eldridge Lumber in Portsmouth.
Doing what?
He would like, it's not a mill yard where they make the wood, they sell it. So he would like stock the shelf, help people if they came in to buy the lumber, load their trucks, stuff like that.
He's been able to return to work.
No,
Physically, how is he today?
I'm still recovering.
And can you describe kind of his mental state concerning these events now?
He certainly is not the same person mentally that he was before this happened. He has severe PTSD. He's very depressed. He has a lot of anxiety because a lot of paranoia.
Is he still at home with you?
Yes.
No, he's just having a... Angela, this may sound like a strange question, but there's some legal obligations on my part. But I need to ask you, are you able to identify Jason Levesque in the courtroom today?
Yes, he's right over there.
And could you please identify him by some description of clothing or his appearance?
He's the man sitting right there with the dark beard, with the gray suit on and the blue undershirt.
Thank you. Your Honor, may the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant as the individual depicted in the images that you have. That's right. Angela, those were my questions. I appreciate your time. As you know, Attorney Sisti will likely have some questions for you as well.
Sure, thank you.
Let me do it.
I like we're not going that deep with these witnesses.
Morning.
Good morning.
I do have a few questions.
Sure,
And nobody wants to put you through this kind of stuff. You understand that, right?
I do.
Okay, good. Prior to this date, did you ever have a conversation with Jason?
I had never spoken to that man, ever.
Correct. You've never spoken to that man, ever, and he has never approached you beful that date, ever.
No.
I think I may be having a technical difficulty.
Here.
Yeah.
We don't want to technical back. Tell us when you're bad way to stop a trial. I'm sorry, Mark. Tell us when you're Okay, let's get back to it. You never had a conversation with him, right?
No.
You never had a conversation.
I bet first responders will testify, and probably the emergency room doctor as well.
Conversation with you, right? He never had a bad word for you, right?
No, I never spoken to him before.
Yeah, right, okay. And how long were you there from the time you left Farmington?
At the time of the incident, it was 2 years we were living there.
And again, I don't know if I heard you right. Was there a particular reason you left Farmington?
No, we just got a new place. It happened to be in Rochester.
All right, even though the kids were comfortable in the school, you wanted to go to Rochester, is that the deal?
Yeah.
On that particular night, actually, I think you may have made a little bit of a mistake, but I don't want to get too technical. It actually wasn't snowing at the time, at about 10 o'clock p.m. on that night, correct? Snow had stopped.
I'm not really sure.
You're not sure? I want to make sure that we're sure of a lot of things here. Actually, let me ask you a kind of a goofy question, I guess.
Sure.
You were having problems and anxiety about the driveway being plowed?
Yes, my daughter's friend, father was supposed to come plow us out with his plow truck.
Okay. And
Why is the lawyer audio really good and I can hardly hear her?
you all had to get out in the morning and you were concerned about that?
Yes.
And you were actually kind of anxious about having to hand shovel the whole thing?
I wouldn't call it anxious. We were concerned that we were going to have to shovel by hand. Yes, it wasn't. No.
Well, you saw in the video there was a guy right next door with a plow, right?
Yes.
Did anybody have the idea that maybe you could go out and ask that guy right there?
Actually, my mother, who used to live in the front of our house, had asked Mr. Levesque one time prior when it snowed.
I'm going to ask you, did you or Kyle have the idea that maybe you could go right next door because you were in some trouble and ask him to plow your driveway?
No, because he had refused it before.
To you?
To my mother.
So you don't know what happened there, do you?
I wasn't present, no, but she told me.
Okay, so let's talk about you and Kyle.
Sure.
Neither you nor Kyle had the idea to go over and ask him politely to just plow your driveway, right?
No, we didn't ask him.
They had the friends, the daughter's friend's father was supposed to come and do it. And again, if the mother had asked, yeah, I can understand why they're not asking again if he said no.
Okay. And that idea never came up, or it never came up in conversation?
No, we never talked about it.
Now, at some point in time, around, I guess it was a little after 10 o'clock p.m., Kyle decides to go out to talk to Jason, right?
Yes.
And was he a bit perturbed?
He was, I don't know, a bit perturbed, I guess, that he was plowing the snow at the end of our driveway, yes.
Well, actually, you say that, but we're going to play that video again in a second, all right?
Yeah, sure.
We will. And the end of your driveway, of course, is on one side of the telephone pole, right?
Yes.
And on the other side of the telephone pole, there's no driveway there.
Yeah, that's where his porch, Mr. Levesque's porch is.
Right. In fact, the driveway itself actually isn't at the edge of the telephone pole. It actually starts about 8 feet in,
Okay.
right? I mean, you live there.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll show you a photo if you need to see it still.
Sure.
Okay. I don't want to be messing around. I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. 294 evidence. That's what I
Thank you,
think.
Clem.
I'm sorry. Can we have it? I'm going to show you what we marked as defendant D4 identification.
Yes.
Here's what it said.
That is the front of Jason Levesque's house, and my driveway is to the left if you're looking at the picture.
Okay, is that pretty good picture?
Yes.
Accurately show that?
Yes.
Okay, the ID's great.
No objection, Your
No objection, the ID's great. Close it.
No, he said no to a mother-in-law sometimes prior, but apparently Kyle went out to say, hey, don't dump your snow in our driveway. That's what started all of it.
We got the utility pole, right?
Yes.
And the utility pole is in the right center of this picture.
I wouldn't call that the center.
Pretty close. It's on the side of your driveway.
His house is in the center of the picture.
Okay. The pole is on the side of your driveway.
Right.
Looking at the photograph, the pole is to the right of your driveway.
Correct.
If I may publish a pole. I'm going to ask that the video be played a little bit in a minute, okay? But I want to be clear here. Levesque wasn't plowing your driveway that day, right?
He was not plowing my driveway, no.
And the Department of Public Works had plowed the road that day, right?
Yes.
And your concern was that they had plowed in front of your driveway, right?
They had already plowed in front of my driveway, correct?
Okay. And that was a concern because you got to bust through that by hand the next day if nobody comes to plow, right?
Right.
Okay. And that was the concern that you folks were talking about just prior to Kyle approaching.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you ban Julie? Brandon, I know you're going for mod of the year, but deleting all of Julie's comments, I don't know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, the concern was that he was piling more snow that we were going to have to plow. I mean, shovel.
Okay, I want to be clear because we're going to see the video again. Okay?
Sure.
All right.
People getting shot in the nutsack over snow.
We know which side of the pole, is what and where the driveway is, right?
Yep.
And the photo I showed.
You didn't do anything. Brandon just deleted a whole heck of messages. He probably put his phone in his pocket again and then pocket banned a lot of people.
It was accurate as to where the driveway is, right?
Yep. And you can see that the side of my driveway by Mr. Levesque's house, the telephone pole is right by the end of that part, and we do park our cars there as well.
Again, that's fine. I'm not arguing with you at all, okay? But that pole's not part of your driveway.
No, the pole is at the corner of my driveway.
Right. In fact, there's a few feet before you get to your driveway from the pole.
I couldn't tell you exactly how far from my driveway.
Okay. All right. We're going to get to it in a second. So it actually wasn't snowing. You didn't ask Levesque to plow the snow. Your claim is that he was plowing snow into your driveway?
Yes, he was plowing some snow in front of my driveway.
And you are claiming that that's actually what you saw?
Yes.
Have you seen this entire video yet?
I have seen the entire video multiple times.
Okay, good. All right. Now, in that particular video as well, there is additional comments from you. Not only did you say, I hope he doesn't do anything stupid. And today you claim that you're referring to Jason.
Yes.
And you say, I hope he doesn't do anything fucking dumb.
Yes.
And today you're claiming that that has to do with Jason.
It does.
Did you tell the police that at any point in time?
Yes, I did.
You did? And which police officer did you discuss
I'm
that?
not sure. I talked to so many.
Talked to so many. Well, let me tell you something, okay? Before you said those two things, you also said something, okay, as Kyle was crossing the driveway toward Jason. Remember what you said?
Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes.
Yeah.
What were you referring to there?
Mr. Levesque getting out of his truck.
He wasn't getting out of the truck.
The door had opened.
Yeah. We're going to play the video.
Okay.
That's such a weird thing. There he goes getting out of his truck. What else should he do when someone walks over there?
That's fine.
Again, you were asked by the prosecution as to whether or not you could hear any exchange of words out in the road.
Right.
1 through the jaw and then 5 in the back.
And you claim you couldn't hear a thing, right?
No, I couldn't hear anything.
I mean, most critically, you certainly didn't hear Jason say anything, right?
I didn't hear either of them say anything.
Okay. So what happened out in that road, in any exchange, you would have no idea.
Not the words, no.
You wouldn't know if there was a threat, right?
I wouldn't know, no.
From your observations, did you see a young lady out there with Jason as well?
No, I did not.
We could set up to...
I think the end that he can sit there and say, I was trying to get away. Well, according to the opening statements, the state believes that he got that through the jaw and fell down and then he walked up executioner style. The defense claims that he was walking at him and then he got pewed in the face, came back at him in some way, and then got pew-pewed. He got 2 in the buttocks. I can't see how you can advance at someone and then get 2 in the buttocks.
Okay, if we could take it from
Some of them not. We haven't heard anything yet.
the beginning where there's actual plowing taking place. The jury, I'm going to ask you, why don't you take a look too, so we're all looking together if we can.
Attorney's seat, is it set up? I can't tell if you guys.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
All jurors seat. Thank you.
Ma'am, this before we started, that dark mark.
Yeah, I will do a poll later maybe, but so far there's some inconsistencies both in the mom and the daughter's stories that I noticed. But again, there's also a big problem with 5 bullets if they are in the back, all of them.
Across the center, that's just part of the window, right?
That's just part of the window, yes.
Okay, that doesn't indicate any kind of a clearance on the driveway or anything else?
No.
Okay, all right, good. If we could start the video, please. And I'll ask you a few questions as we go, if that's okay. Okay. Did you see that at all from the window?
I wasn't looking out the window at this point when he was plowing.
Okay. Now, would you agree he's not plowing anything in front of your driveway, right?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay.
We were told there would be multiple cameras. But if I'm understanding this correct, then is this the driveway? I thought that was a road because we saw cars passing by. But if this is... Or where is the driveway in this picture? Because there's this thing sticking out here that I thought is something in front of the camera. Oh, this looks... Shouldn't have that. Because when he walks out, you can see he walks under this part and comes out over here. So where's the driveway that he shoveled the snow in?
Okay, you can stop it right there. Now, he did plow in front of his home, correct?
Yes.
And he plowed right up to the pole, right?
Yes.
He did not plow over to the other side of the pole, correct?
He was still actively plowing.
I understand, we're looking at this right now. He is-
The edge of my driveway is shortly after that pole. Like I said, we utilize both lanes of the driveway, and my driveway starts shortly after the pole on the right-hand side.
That is correct. And he has not plowed any snow on that side?
In this rain, yes, he did stop the pole.
Thank you. We can continue. Stop it right there. You did exactly the same thing, right?
Yes, I pushed the snow out towards my driveway.
It's not over your driveway, correct?
It is almost at my driveway, yes. My driveway is shortly right there.
My question is, it wasn't in your driveway, correct?
Not in my driveway,
Thank
no.
you. We can continue.
So the yellow post-its is from Stephen, but let's try and zoom in. So what we are seeing is a view this way. And this is where she says he's about to hit my driveway. But that's not in front of her driveway. That's a little different than I thought. Because I thought he was depositing it right in front of that driveway, but if he's just pushing it up on the curb next to it, that paints a different picture than what I see in my mind.
We can stop it right there. Again, that's not in your driveway, right?
No.
Thank you. We can go again. Now, were you looking out the window at this time?
No.
Okay. Stop it again. That didn't go in your driveway either, did it?
No.
Thank you. Good go again. Okay, so please stop. He's not plowing anymore, right?
No.
And who is going out through the driveway again?
That's Kyle.
Okay, can we back it up just a second? Is this when you looked outside?
No.
You did not look outside at that point?
No, me and my daughter were in the living room at this point. You can see the curtain move when
Hold
we
on.
look outside.
You did not see Kyle go into the driveway?
No.
Okay, can we look?
Right there.
Okay.
Yep, there it goes.
Yep, there we go.
Yep, that you can see Mr. Levesque get out of the truck right there.
Okay, can you stop? Mr. Levesque's not even looking at Kyle.
That's what I was referring to when I said that. He was out of his truck. You could see him by the car door.
You didn't say anything about, uh-oh, he's getting out of the truck. You didn't say anything like that.
No, that's just how I worded it. I'm sorry. I don't know why I worded it that
Well,
way.
let me ask you, that's the first time you saw Kyle, right? Right out the window.
Yes.
There he goes.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you. Take a seat.
Counsel, you done with the video?
I am.
Thank you. Will you shut them?
Well, I still think that we need to figure out what confrontation was had, because how do you get to it's okay to put 6 holes in him? That's the thing. An argument, yes, but still, was it enough that you can air raid someone?
So the first time you see Kyle through the window, your first statement is, there he goes, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like on camera, but that's not what I was referring to.
Again, that's what it says, and that's what it looks like on camera, right?
Sure, that's what it looks like.
And then the second thing you say shortly after that is, I hope he doesn't do anything stupid. Right?
Yes, I do say that.
And you refer to the same he, right?
Yes,
And then the last thing you say is, I hope he doesn't do anything fucking dumb.
right. I do say that as well.
And as we look through that entire video, and now that you've seen it and it's fresh in your mind,
Yep,
fresh in your mind,
yes.
you will agree with me that Jason plowed no snow in front of your driveway.
He might have stopped his plow at the telephone pole, but every time he piled more snow, it pushed the snowbank in front of my driveway.
And I'm sure the jury will take a very close look at that video.
I'm sure they will too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just briefly, look, I don't want to belabor this plowing thing too much, okay?
Right.
But I just got to ask you, you saw these kind of 4 swipes towards your pole.
Sure.
Do you know the sequence of Mr. Levesque's plowing of his own driveway?
What
You
do
know, in other words, do you know what was going to happen to the...
It's straight speculation.
Sure. You had mentioned a prior kind of plowing incident that
Yes.
raised some tensions.
Right.
Did that prior plowing event actually come to an end? Did he finish plowing?
He did finish plowing.
Okay. Did it appear that he had finished plowing in the video that you saw?
No, he was not done plowing.
Okay. Apparently, those are all the questions I have.
When was that other thing, so we can be relaxed?
I couldn't tell you the exact date.
Thank you.
All set. Thank you.
Judge, we have another witness available. I don't know what the court's plan is in terms of brief morning break.
You don't need a break. They haven't been going for an hour. This court is taking more breaks than Beverly Cannoni. 57 minutes and they have their first break. If he went over there onto his property, then not guilty. Can't really tell if he was on public access or his property, but that will make it a big difference. I don't know. I have a big problem with the escalation, because again, you can use the force necessary, but if he was just saying, I'm gonna F you up if you leave snow in my driveway, I can't see you have the right to escalate to deadly force, because he's not brandishing anything. And apparently he's walking away. I don't know. Hey Jamie, it's Thursday. I never got to hang out Thursday, but I love you almost enough to let you give me a hug, but only if you laugh at one of my dumb jokes, and I hope you have a lovely day. Oh, look how lovey-dovey he is. If Kyle is the next witness and he's still wheelchair bound, they might be bringing him to the witness stand outside of the jury to minimize prejudice. Could be. The defense claims that he might have had something, but he didn't. Nothing was found. That it was more that the defendant was afraid he might have something. But again, everyone could potentially have something, and everyone could potentially hurt you. That doesn't give you carte blanche to go around and pew-pewing everyone. Yeah, but again, in the eyes of a jury, you should stop. We know this from other cases that we've heard that. Why didn't you just shoot the pew pew out of his hand like in a cowboy movie and stuff like that? Why didn't you just shoot in the leg? So I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing a jury sit there and say, well, of course, if he was dumping snow, you can air raid him. Yeah, but we don't see that in the video. We saw a video yesterday. So, I don't know. But apparently there are 6 videos, so hopefully we'll see something that can show the confrontation. Because it's not like it's a long confrontation either. Yeah, good. Holdouts are good. But we need to. I think to have any chance of getting off, he needs to take the stand and have a very good explanation to it. Yeah. You need to see the confrontation between them. For the pastor. Did I have a case with a priest? What the hell case was that? New Hampshire, I've had Adam Montgomery twice. I had that guy who also claimed self-defense, which I think he did. Bradley Yawn, I think, was in New Hampshire as well. Or was that Massachusetts? I can't remember all the cases I've had. Yeah, I think you need both of them. No, she was on the stand yesterday. Or maybe the defendant's daughter could be a better. Called his defense attorney. It rings absolutely no bells. Pentecostal pastor. Brandon Castiglione. Now I have to Google my own cases to find out what I've covered. Do I remember this? A man convicted of pewing and wounding a New Hampshire bishop and assaulting the bride and groom in 2019 played his own rap music for the jury Wednesday as part of his insanity defense, saying he wanted to show how he was dealing with demons and their voices. Did I cover that? The jury at Nassau had found Dale Holloway guilty on Tuesday on 1 or 2 attempted red rum charges and several assault charges. Holloway, who is acting as his own attorney, had pleaded innocent. The panel, in considering whether he was criminally responsible, is now listening to him present evidence that he suffered from mental diseases. Holloway told jurors Wednesday that one of his voices he heard was Satan's. Maybe I did some things that I didn't want to do that I feel as if Satan made me do. Happened in New England Pentecostal ministry in Pelham nearly 2 weeks after Holloway's stepfather, a pastor of the church, was unalive. Oh yeah, the pastor was. Yeah, that rings some bell. Yeah. In closing arguments, Holloway had asked why the wedding hadn't been separated from the day of his stepfather's ceremony. They planned on stomp on his grave, he said, referring to the bishop and groom. In his closing argument, prosecutor said Holloway sat in a pew during the wedding ceremony before walking up to the participants. What he wanted to do is unalive. That's why he had a pew, a loaded pew. He's already serving 7.5 to 15 for assaulting his lawyer. As part of his insanity defense, Holloway brought in a forensic psychologist who said she diagnosed him with PTSD and paranoid personality disorder, which she said appeared to have stemmed from his childhood. But she also testified that it was a preliminary draft and not a full evaluation. 42 years in prison. It makes me think of something, but it's one of those I can't remember. Did we see all of it or something? I'm not sure. Jess? I can hardly make them work anymore. It was the No Tie Brandon trial, wasn't it? Oh, I didn't cover it. You did it in Dave's Discord. I'm pretty sure I remember the case, but I didn't cover it. Now I have to go back and guess who doesn't make Castiglione. I have no videos with that name. I haven't covered it, but thank you for remembering I did it. Please go tell all your friends about Baker, where we cover cases even when we don't cover them. What? We said you are such an amazing mod that you have everything covered. Hey, Fedorowski, are you back yet? Or are you still living the dream in Spain? Viva España, la 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 la, høj musik. Viva España, la 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 la. La 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 la. I think we were supposed to cover it. I think that was about around the time Jamie and I. No, it can't be. Yeah, that must be around the time we started. So, but I think we got that. I think we got the border cross agent instead. La 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 la. Da, 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 da. La 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 la. No, and it's hard because I'm also sitting here and thinking, oh, I remember covering this case, and then I remember, no, I watched that on Racket's channel, or I watched that on Dave's channel, or back when Joe still did the trial coverage. It's been a long time. Yeah, he was probably retired at that time. Saturday evening. Oh, bring some of the good weather. We when I went to the gym today, well, when I left the gym, it started raining and it felt like it was just half a degree of snow because it was cold and it was stinging. Yeah, before you retired. Did you see there's a show about the Karen Reed trial coming to Max next week? No. But I know that people are really angry about the title of it, even though it's what James McCabe said. A guy in the snow. Another 10 minutes. Or what? Yeah. La, 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 la. It's not cookies, it's what we call hindbærsnitter. It's short crust dough, raspberry jam, short crust dough. I have I should contact my service thing because I can change my subscriptions, and I actually changed it to Max 2 months ago, but they haven't done it, so I'm a little behind. Empire biscuits. No, hindbærsnitter. It's kind of like a Danish Pop-Tart, just not made with 200 different artificial things in it. So it is kind of like a Pop-Tart, just healthy. Well, not healthy, but healthier. Because short crust is just fat and sugar and flour. Yeah, we got a Danish service, but you can get like a streaming services through your subscription. And I had one that's for like the Nordic countries, and then I thought, well, I haven't had Max in a long time, so I'll just switch it. And I was back in January and still haven't gotten it. Going to need you to ship some of those for me. I sadly can't ship them because you're not allowed to ship homemade food, which is stupid. España, por favor. Now that song is stuck in my head. It's really annoying. We have to sing it all the time because it's stuck in there. I don't know what, I just make up words. Yeah, but still, 6 pew-pews to the back, 2 of them to the buttocks. I think that'll still get him in trouble. Yeah, the Swayze sticker is holding on for dear life, but it's because I can't flip my mic. If I have it down here so you could see it and I could glue it onto it, you couldn't hear me. And I can't. Well, I could have it like this, but that'll probably annoy me at some point. Because now I can glue it on. Yeah, that's better. But then I can't see the chat. I have 2 daughters. I would never walk into their rooms and say, look, Dad is going to talk to the neighbor. I would, however, say, look, Dad's about to fight. That's the weird thing to me, to going up to your daughter's room saying, hey, Dad's going to the neighbors complaining about the snow. I don't get that part, because I would just think, yeah, that's grown-up business. What kind of alcoholic beverages? I have quite a few rye whiskeys. Then I have some Gentleman Jack. I think this is Monkey Shoulder. I have a Maker's Mark in honor of our AH Queen. I have a flask of port, and then I have some regular whiskey, and I think I have a bottle of rum somewhere. And I think that right there is my Malort, my last surviving Malort bottle. No, I am always happy-go-lucky. Jason should have yelled for the culture just prior to the pew-pews. Yeah, then nothing could happen. There was one, and then there's five. That's how I hear it. It's for da culture. It's kind of like, remember Jamie's favorite movie, Leprechauns 2, Back in Da Hood. I was down getting some bread and cheese and some other stuff just now and found some nice protein bars with 25% protein. They are lemon lime flavored, like a citrus taffy wrapped in chocolate. First of all, if they are okay tasting with 25% of 25 grams of protein in them, you're lucky, because normally above 18% it just becomes very dusty, and I don't like lemon lime. No pink gin. I don't like gin. Gin tastes like kissing a Christmas tree, so I don't drink that, and I don't drink tequila because just the smell of it when Iris served it to me made me gag. So I like bourbon. I like rye. I'm not a big fan of whiskey, but and port is okay, but it's just I would rather, instead of having a shot of it, I would rather just have it with dessert at some point. Bum, 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 bum. You didn't drink any, Jamie.
Through another witness, through Detective Garston, portions of the defendant's statement to police investigators. One of them was that after he was initially shot, that he continued to yell at the defendant in an aggressive manner. Not only did he not go drop to the ground, but he continued to yell. The nature of the injury and the capacity of the victim to actually speak in clear terms is likewise depicted both physically and by audio in this particular image. In other words, he's able to kind of articulate through grunts that he's shot in the face, but these are hardly associated with, I think, the aggressive screams that were depicted or claimed by the defendant in his interview. So for those three reasons, notwithstanding the graphic nature of these images, it's the state's position that they're highly relevant and more so than prejudicial.
First of all, thank you very much. We are prejudicial. It's something we do graphic. How stipulant is the violence?
Yeah, unbalanced.
This morning,
It tasted like lemon. I don't like lemon.
photographs by the state. I agree the young people put it in to help show Kyle, I'll bring up every specific wound.
I do like food. How do you think I got this fat?
The issue of the gravity of the injuries is not in the speech at all. The body cam and
But Stephen, are you sure it's the right houses? Because both the mom and the daughter said we have a double driveway, and it looks like a single.
you have to watch it when they come from my course. The body cam is unbelievably prejudicial.
I think you're one house wrong.
The situation can be adequately explained by the witness himself when he takes the stand. In other words, what that body cam is do, okay, is nothing more
pull this one up. I think it's not this one. I think it's these two houses. So this is the victim's driveway, and this is the defendant's driveway. Not that it changes much, because it would still be here that they are depositing the snow. But this looks like a single car driveway, and both these looks like doubles. So it's 43 and 41. I believe those were the house numbers. I don't know. There's no audio really on in court. I've just boosted it up to level 10. So if anyone comes back and turns on a microphone, we will all be deaf.
What he's going to say is that he decided he went to a number of emergency medical procedures, and he eventually handed Kyle off to the EMT. That's it in a nutshell. And he can describe all the injuries he wants, but
They weren't sharing a driveway with the neighbor. They had the driveways out to a public road from both houses.
watching an individual riding around on the ground, and watching bloody details of ripping off his clothes, it's not, it's nothing more than just kind of prejudicial. It's outrageously prejudicial. Frankly, it's irrelevant at this point in time. We agree that he had serious bodily injury. We agree on hoping that it was a miracle, that it was extraordinary medical procedures. We went through the whole thing. Okay? I agree to all the injuries. I agree that they were caused by bullying. I agree he was in dire straits. I agree that he had to go to hospital. And I agree he had to be treated at the scene. I agree he had to be treated at 3 different hospitals. I mean, it's just, frankly, overdone. And when you see it, we're going to talk.
And I'll again reiterate, the defense starts out with it's prejudicial. It's got to be unfairly so, and there has to then be this additional balancing with probative aspects of this evidence as well. It may be prejudicial in the sense that it advances the state's case, but it is not unduly prejudicial. And to the extent that, again, that the defense characterizes it as unfair by its graphic nature, that is the nature of this case. And they brought certain issues into, heightened scrutiny by making such claims as, you could have killed him if you wanted to, as in suggesting that these sort of were, only partway there. And the other one is, hey, he got what he deserved. In other words, you got to weigh out the words that he made, and the defense wants to focus heavily on that, but now start to discount, filter, and really whitewash the consequences, which are what he deserved. Let's see what he deserved. It's depicted here. And then again, I do want to stress the importance of the fact that he really is diminished in terms of his ability to yell in any kind of threatening manner, which is something that the defendant stated during his police interview immediately after these events. And that's from the first shot, which I got to say, again, raises a focused probative value here, a heightened probative value. And I think the court can make appropriate limiting instructions that, this is not about passion or, other factors, but is only considered for the relevance of contested issues. If the defense wants a limiting instruction,
Yeah, now it makes more sense. Yeah, these are the poles we saw where he drives the truck back to. So it must have happened somewhere in this area. So he crosses over here, and then he ends up somewhere there, and then This is where the daughter said she was, and the camera must be there. I think that's how it is. Ah, dang it. Forgot to put the other one back on screen. Some point you'll figure out how to do this. It's almost like you never tried it before.
Press history from the get-go about their capacity to see and hear and weigh graphic evidence, and this is what we're talking about.
No, this is not what we were talking about. What we were talking about were the specific injuries. And by the way, each and every one of the contentions that was just made by the prosecution can be made out by those photographs and the actual observations of the medical personnel at the scene. You don't need to see a human being being stripped in the snowbank with blood all over the place, all right, and emergency medical techniques being performed. You don't need that in order to buttress the argument that he was in extremely serious physical condition. And by the way, nobody was there at the time when the immediate gunshot.
Thank you, Unbalanced, for the Figuring Out Fund. Well, that fund needs to grow substantially for me to figure anything out.
That took place and whether or not he was able to articulate at the time. I agree. He couldn't articulate 3 or 4 minutes later. If that's a bonus contention, take it. It doesn't make any difference to me. Okay? It doesn't make any difference to the case. But what I'm saying is that you don't have a 702 expert coming in here who is a detective in a police department or a fire department that's saying 4 or 5 minutes ago they wouldn't be able to talk. Right? I mean that's beyond the scope here. I mean, you're not notified.
They want to draw.
But that's the inference they want to draw. But seeing somebody treated afterwards.
We're going to go directly into lunch break, aren't we?
All right. And if you want to backtrack and come to that conclusion, throw a witness on the stand and let's examine the witness.
But in terms of prejudice, is whether it would inflame your passion or your sympathy, whether that inflaming the passion or sympathy would override their ability to render a fair verdict.
That's one. But again, what's the need to show this video? Why do we need to show this video? I'm giving a full exhibit agreement to each and every wound on his body. I'm not contest medical synopsis coming in that will indicate the seriousness of the injuries. And
I'm not sure you need the right analysis. I mean, in terms of the safety, present the case the way it wants, as long as it's not necessarily prejudicial or inflammatory or, right?
well, there's been, because is it cumulative? All right. I mean, there's just one question. What is it really saying? It's saying, I am a police officer. I have a body cam. Well, he can testify, all right, to what he saw, what he did. If I cross-examine him and question him, I agree. They can put in any snippets they want from his body cam to buttress his credibility or his recollection. But I assure you, I'm probably not even going to cross-examine this witness.
So, obviously, the first step is I need to see the video. I can't make a decision in the vacuum without having seen it.
Right.
Assess the extent to which it would be inflammatory or inappropriate prejudice or sympathy. So unfortunately, I need to take another little break so that I can do the video. So we can let the jury know some issues that come up. We're going to have them hang on for a few more minutes. And then we'll make a decision after that as to whether I need to...
Now would be a really good time.
But I'll decide that in a minute. So what's the easiest way for me to do the video?
Your Honor's preference, I have it hooked up to my computer right now. I can bring it up to the bench and you can do it there. I'm more than comfortable with the chambers.
Yeah, I'm taking the chambers, I mean,
First flash drive, are you able to play it on your phone back there?
no, I better take
You're going to cross-examine this witness.
inflammatory or inappropriate assess the extent to which it would be inflammatory or inappropriate prejudice video. So we can let the jury know some issues that come up. We're going to have them hang on for a few more minutes. And then we'll make a decision after that as to whether we're going to get to that before lunch. Thank you, but I'll decide that in a minute. So what's the easiest way for me to do this video?
Are we going on lunch now?
Watch the video, or do you?
If there's questions, yeah, I mean, I think we should do that.
What's going on in this case? So now he has to go back and watch a video. And they were going to tell the jury, and it would take a few minutes. But it's 11:32. Why don't they just say, stay out, get your lunch, and we're back at 12:30? Because you're going to come back for 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Just going to see if... Doesn't look like we're on break. Nope, can't see anything. Yeah, why didn't they handle this pretrial? What they were arguing are some photographs that an officer is going to testify to that the defense doesn't believe he can testify to. And now the judge are going to go back and watch a video in his room to determine if they can play it. That should have been squared away before trial. Yeah, Sallyport vibes. They're back on break. So, jury breaks up Breaking Baker. Yeah, again, they have had 57 minutes in court today. So far. 57 minutes. Then they had a 5-minute break. Then they had a 10-minute break. And now we have an undetermined amount of break time. So the state are trying to bring in video and evidence not disclosed to the defense beforehand. I think if the officer can testify based on that video. Yeah, Valhalla made a home video with that title. Remember when I said yesterday, Mods, that, oh, this looks like it's going to be a fast trial. And Jemima said, you're always jinxing it. I said, no. No, he had to go back and watch a video. So why it hasn't been produced before, I don't know. They probably had a lot of cameras because they had many disputes with neighbors. I think the one we have seen is the only one from the victim's house, but allegedly there are on both ends of the streets, there should be cameras because they mentioned 6 different videos in the state's opening arguments. I'm gonna eat a Rice Krispie treat for breakfast. Effort. I don't know what that is. What is a Rice Krispie treat? Well, it's a treat made with Rice Krispies. Thank you, Jamie. I could figure that one out myself. No, I don't think this is... then they'll just say we can't bring it in, and that's fine. Because the defense isn't arguing that they weren't disclosed. There were some photos, but I think it's still from a video. I'm not a big fan of marshmallows. I believe it's 9 pages, but I can look for it. I was thinking about just doing a video on it later. That's Michael Proctor. Where is... delete that one. Where do I have it? Defendant's motion 601. Defendant's motion to exclude Dr. Wolf. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yes. Well, it's 9 pages. We need something to do while we're doing nothing else. Close this one. Present. I have to stop this screen, and then I have to present this screen. Share screen, and entire screen, and this screen, and that screen, and add to the window. Defendant's motion for reconsideration of March 6, 2025. Court order denying defendant's motion to exclude the testimony of the Commonwealth's witness, Crosby. Karen Reed respectfully requests that this court reconsider its court order denying defendant's motion to exclude the testimony of the witness James W. Crosby, MS, PhD. And after such reconsideration, defendant requests that the court exclude the entirety of the proffered testimony of Dr. Crosby. In the alternative, and at a minimum, defendant requests an evidentiary hearing to determine whether the Commonwealth can meet its burden to satisfy the requirements of Daubert-Lanigan as regards Dr. Crosby. The defense could complete its questioning of Dr. Crosby in approximately 1/2 day of any hearing. The March 6 order. In denying defendant's motion to exclude the proffered testimony of Crosby, the court stated in its March 6 order that the Commonwealth has satisfied the foundational requirements of Daubert-Lanigan. The evidence will assist the jury. Dr. Crosby is an expert in dog bite wounds. There is an appropriate basis for his opinion in the record, and those proposed testimonies, principles, and methods are reliable. The defendant's objection goes to the weight of the evidence, not its admissibility. The court did not provide any record citation or other record evidence for how the Commonwealth had met its burden to satisfy the 5 foundational requirements, including prominently the methods are reliable requirement. Commonwealth v. Polk, nor did the court address the alternative request of the defendant that a Daubert-Lanigan hearing be held should the court not exclude Dr. Crosby outright on the papers alone. The March 6 order contrasts with the court-ordered 2-day evidentiary hearing of Dr. Marie Russell, a medical doctor with approximately 30 years' experience as an emergency medicine physician and forensic pathologist. Dr. Russell co-authored peer-reviewed books on dog-inflicted wounds on humans and submitted an 11-page report before the hearing in which she documented her pattern recognition methodology, with robust citations to peer-reviewed studies and articles that appeared in 27 footnotes throughout her report. The instant motion for reconsideration. The defendant does not waive any and reserve all of their basis for exclusion of Dr. Crosby as stated in her original exclusion motion, yet for efficiency in this reconsideration motion, the defendant focuses on just factor 4 set forth in Polk, namely that the theory underlying the opinion is reliable. This factor is also known in the Daubert-Lanigan parlance as the methodology prong. A failure of any one of the 5 foundational factors set forth in Polk compels exclusion of the proffered testimony at issue. The Commonwealth's opposition to the defendant's exclusion motion. The Commonwealth has 4 opportunities to show that it can meet the Daubert-Lanigan methodology prong. Its written opposition dated February 17th, the supplemental report of Dr. Crosby dated February 19th, in which he discussed the mold aspect of his unsupported mold measurement methodology, that's a long word, but failed to account for the absence of any requisite overlay in his methodology. Oral argument on the exclusion motion on March 4th, and the list of cases in which Dr. Crosby has testified in court, which was submitted to the court on March 6th. In each of these opportunities, the Commonwealth failed to even attempt to show that the purported mold measurement methodology employed by Dr. Crosby in opining on whether the wounds to the right arm of the decedent was caused by a dog bite or dog attack in generally accepted is generally accepted in the relevant medical or scientific community, or that his methodology meets the apt Dorbert-Lanigan factors. I can tell you it's not, because scientifically, this is bunk science. Notably, Dr. Crosby has never attempted to make such a showing, either. His report is completely bereft of even a mention of satisfaction of general acceptance of his mold measurement methodology or satisfaction of the Dorbert-Lanigan factors, let alone a showing of meeting them. And he has never submitted an affidavit to support anything about himself, including his qualifications or documentation of any kind of how his purported methodology is generally accepted or otherwise reliable, with citations to medical and scientific literature. So what they are saying is actually, Bev, you effed up. You demanded we gave you affidavits. You don't demand it here, and you're just saying, yeah, we don't need to hear about him, even though his science is bunk, his methodology doesn't exist, and you don't know anything about his qualifications. Yeah, do 1 o'clock because you haven't done anything yet, so let's take a longer break. Ah. You can't remove her. Anyone who will tell you that I saw a lot of people talking about, well, she lost her immunity. No, she didn't. You can't remove a sitting judge. It would be impossible to remove her, almost. It would be so extraordinary. So Bev will just be sitting there as she's the queen. It's her courtroom. It's her discretion. She's not going to be removed. No one's going to do anything. And even if you were playing with the thought, well, someone must step in. Tell me who in Canton or the MSP or whatever it is that would be different than the players we have already. The whole entire system is rotten. So, of course, no one is going to do anything in that courtroom. No sound. Well, sorry. Lunch till 1 o'clock. That's because it was sharing. Sorry. Stupid. Well, she can't do whatever she wants. There are limits to judicial immunity, but those limits are very, very, very far from being reached. The only thing so far that potentially could have reached some way to get her in legal trouble was if they had any way to prove that there was that there was juror tampering, but they can't prove that. I know a lot of people read a headline and think everything is fine and dandy. Oh, Bev had a administrative role, and that administrative role have a different judicial immune. No, she's the judge. As a sitting judge, she has the judicial immunity, no matter what anyone tells you on YouTube. Whenever all of us YouTubers tell you, believe me, always go on Google and say, what are the rules in Massachusetts? And again, just because you have an administrative role that has nothing to do with the case, it doesn't take away your judicial immunity. The judicial immunity is for the office. She is a judge. So no matter what people might have told you online, it's not true. Yeah, it's people coping, and people are, again, of course everyone thinks, well, in a just and fair world, but this isn't a just and fair world. This is Canton, Massachusetts. Science doesn't exist. They have never seen a snowstorm before, and it's totally normal to leave donuts in a frozen car at birthdays. Do it every year. So even though you might hope, think, dream that some of us YouTubers knows what we talk about, always, at least my advice would be, check out, if you're following the Karen Reed case and you want to know what's happening, check out Melanie Little, Peter Tragers, EDB, Andrea Burkhardt, because they are lawyers. Runkle of the Bailey, they are lawyers. They know what they're talking about. All of us, the rest of us, are just amateurs who believe that we might read something, when in reality, we're just like you. We are amateurs. We are just amateurs with a camera and a mouth that keeps running, and you think, well, I can just as well sit here instead of doing something useful with my life. Well, that's what I'm probably gonna do a separate video on that entire thing. I'm also probably gonna do a news clip about the Proctor Crimea River letter, because Proctor's wife has been out. What that family, that man who put on a badge and fought for justice, and what they have been put through the last year. Funny enough, no evidence of all these people who said that their kids should be removed and they should die of the big C word and stuff like that. None of that is put in there. They don't take any questions, but trust me, bro. I believe Proctor is having his hearing today. It's the 13th. That's today he is having his hearing. But now his wife made a press statement for the first time they're speaking out. It's the same stuff she put on Instagram last year. Or just ask in Discord and I'll give it to you straight. Yes, if you have any questions about, is it true what I heard on Black, Blue, Up, Down, 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 Up, Up, when they talked about how this rule is, check up with Jemima. She went to the same law school where Special Prosecutor Brennan is a guest lecturer. We are the jurors is always how I see it. Exactly. We go into this and we are sitting here. The only thing is we can discuss it all the way through, and we most of the times will get it right. The stupid jury will just not see how intelligent we are. And Sue, because she's always disagreeing with me, she's always wrong. Can you watch what? I know Melanie read it yesterday. I don't know what you want to watch. They're on break. So, yeah. Yes, always go to Brandy for timelines and charts, or Sleuthy Goosey. Oh, Proctor. No, we can't watch Proctor. It's a work dispute. You're not allowed to see that. Sure got the Polk County verdict wrong. We always do. Yes, I will excuse you, Sue. Look, the Sue bird is up there. Never used Discord before. Thinking about joining, even potentially running a channel. Is it a tough platform to use, or is it somewhat intuitive? I had help starting my stuff up, but I think it's good. It's a good platform to have because for me, all my mods put all my stuff up. I have had a few days where nothing really had happened at night, and instead of just doing a stream and sit here and get burned out, I jump into voice chat and we're just hanging out, chit-chatting. Most of the time, Sue is just yelling at me, or Danny T can yell at me as well, but that's mostly what we go in there and do. No, and I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be so long that I'm gonna be in Knoxville again doing the Karen Reed case. Everyone, go grab yourself some dinner. Be back here at around 1. And Lefty, go fornicate yourself, you evil, evil, evil Chicago's Bear fan.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
It's dinner for me because
wouldn't
it's
have cared?
6 o'clock.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.
I'll look on the break. I
Everybody
didn't get a
has.
notification.